Yeah, welcome back to the channel. You don't know the thing go. What me take? Yeah, and today we are gonna look at what going with the Diddy thing and the Cassie thing. You see me? We have a report to listen to with the day them will pass already. A summary of the day them will pass. Everybody must know about Cassie and know about Diddy. You see me? I say P Diddy. You see me? So Bad Boy Records, rare. You see me? So we're going to take a listen to the news report so far, what them read so far, the findings in the court, what come out in the court, stuff like that, and rare. And them I say a bag of things are going on. You understand what I say? So, if you don't know the thing going on, subscribe to the channel and make we jump in it.
First of all, those messages were tame compared to what people in the courtroom actually saw today. Take us inside and how that played as you're seeing these sexually explicit messages displayed on those monitors.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, Mike, when I saw the messages, I was a little taken aback. Yeah. These were very tame compared to what we saw. They were very explicit in nature. They went into extensive detail as to what she was looking forward to, how she felt sexually towards Sean. All of that came in, and we saw it in an actual text message. So the defense was really trying to put that in.
Let's talk about the defense's strategy today. They're trying to create what they consider a fuller picture of the relationship, the 11-year relationship. At one point, they got her to admit that she was in love with Sean Combs for 11 years. And at many points, according to the messages, she's the one that initiated these so-called dubbed freak-offs. How did that play in the courtroom? And what was Sean Combs doing as he's listening to this testimony?
Well, I'll tell you, when they introduced these ideas and concepts, you definitely saw the jury take a second look, right? Because this is directly contrary to what we have seen for the last 2 days. These text messages clearly reflect the fact that she wanted to be a part of his life. She wanted to be included on vacations with his children.
So according to what them have said so far, she did into it. I don't know if she went into it from the start. You understand me? But she said she love him and she want to make him happy, so she would do anything and willing to do anything what him say. You understand me?
She wanted to be that wife to him that she was not. And so we see that clearly laid out. So you saw the jury definitely take a closer look at that, because now that we have the complete chain of text messages, we see where some of the freak-offs were actually initiated by her.
It just a show you say she did love Wagwan. Maybe it didn't start out that way, but she initiates certain things. The text message them is there to prove it. So we don't know Cassia behave so.
He didn't mention them, and she brought them up, initiating that sort of conversation. So that changed the dynamic in the courtroom a little bit. Mr. Combs was really just sitting at the desk. He looked ahead. He didn't seem to have much comments. He was definitely paying attention, though, to the cross-examination. He was writing notes. We did see that.
I wonder where am I right down. I must want song in there meds at the same time. Is it? Well, we see what go on still, but it is very interesting. The findings are very interesting.
There was a point where even the defense attorney admitted that she was kind of all over the place. It was described as meandering, this cross-examination. But sometimes that could be a strategy, right? What do you make of the approach and the style of the defense today?
Well, I think we have to remember that the judge confined them. They do have to finish in a day and a half, the same amount of time that was allotted to the direct. So she had to change strategy. I believe she thought she had a little bit more time. So that created some of that. But the meandering, sometimes when you walk away, you walk up to it a little bit and then you come back with another question, because then people don't know, and the actual witness on the stand doesn't know what direction you're headed. So they're likely to give you a lot more information than you bargained for. By the time you come back to that line of questioning, they have likely forgotten the initial statements. So you get a lot more information, and without that sort of gotcha moment. It's used a lot when we have someone like Cassie, who is a very sympathetic witness. She is very pregnant. You do not want to be the attorney that is being very harsh or seeming like you're trying to get her. And so I think,
as she mentioned about she being pregnant, you know who me really I say have it hard right now? The husband where she married to, I have 2 youth and I expect the third one from. He must feel like a piece of right now. You understand me? Sit down and listen to all these things where your woman been a do for 10 years You understand me? All of these parties, all of these free cups, all of these, yo, me no think me coulda sit down and listen to all of them or something the king. We are going with the woman who you're there with, the woman who you're married to, who you live with, have picnic with. Me no think me coulda do it. Me no chance so. No sir. No, me no chance so. All of these things, I wonder how I'm feeling himself then. And the question is he gonna end up divorcing her or stay with her because she have the youth them and whatever? Already in baby mother, already in wife. A lot of people are say him shouldn't stay. A lot of people are say him feel left. Mixed reaction are go on. You see me I say?
That bodes better with the jury over time.
How did the defense do today? I mean, not that it's a grade type situation, but were they effective in trying to point out some of the inconsistencies, or at least not the complete picture of what the prosecution laid out?
I think they were effective in really showing that what we saw yesterday was not the total story. What it did is it provided a lot more context, and we saw a lot more detail than we had yesterday. So it's not just one or two text messages. Now we're getting pages and we're seeing full conversation. So that changes the way we're looking at those individual text messages that the prosecution was showing.
Before the trial, this is something the prosecution did not want to happen. They tried to limit all of the text messages, right?
Absolutely. And up until yesterday, actually, in court, they were arguing about not admitting all of these chains. The prosecution has been seeking to keep it out, so much so that when they had introduced a couple of the initial text messages, the prosecution stood up and objected vigorously twice. I think, though, that the jury definitely became much more keen. They were looking forward to seeing the text messages because it creates that feeling of, why don't you want us to see these text messages?
Yeah, because anything can in them the text message there. The two of them know one war go on, you know. P didn't know, Cassie know what go on, and a lot of other people know. A lot of people right now are afraid, you know. So if they name I go call, you know, because if Diddy can't get out or get off of them charges or whatever it is and whatever. Remember say name I go call, so people are afraid right now. People are afraid. You see me I say? But we're going to keep on watching and see what go on still.
So once they were introduced, the jury was paying attention.
The defense also got Cassie Ventura to admit that she was jealous, primarily of Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, the mother of Sean Combs' 3 children.
That is correct.
And so what does that do for the defense in trying to get at least the jurors to open their minds to their side of how they view things?
So the defense is putting that forward because when she made that statement on direct where she said, I was insanely jealous, this now provides context because now we have an individual who's in his life, the mother of his children, who he has children with, that she has a direct object. So they see how this actually creates that complex dynamic in their relationship.
And with no disrespect to the woman them, I'm not going to say, well, yeah, with no disrespect. The woman them, most of the woman them love the foolishness. Them love everything that's bad. And we see it in a everyday society. No matter which country you're looking at, no matter where you look, no matter where you're there. It's like you always can point out to the foolishness where the woman them love. The woman them love them kind of thing, a king. Them love it. And most of them were going like say them not like certain things and where secretly deep down them love it. I just the right man not bring it out of them yet.
And then one other question about that is when you talk about the full picture of these text messages, we also learned that Sean Combs overdosed back in, I think it was 2012. And so you're learning some detail. And the bottom, just as reading this, it just seemed like a very sad, tragic, violent situation. And so how does a jury read all of that as we are just a few days into what we expect to be a couple of months of trial?
Absolutely. The overdose was a very big portion of today. They talked a lot about the drug use, and it was excessive drug use. I mean, we're talking about everything from mushrooms to cocaine to GHB to ketamine. These are significant drugs that the average person is not necessarily is going to be surprised when they hear about these cocktails. So I think, you know, that also factors into the overdose and how they went from, you know, using drugs very, very often and very regularly.
This would have to play a major part in them something. You understand me? Because and all of these things, Yeah man, drugs would have to play a major role. As well she said upon the stand, she said she have to take drugs for so she not feel nothing. Cause how shame should she be? Cause if she go through them or something and not feel no way about it, she will be a terrible human being. You understand what I say? Yeah man. Well, the court case continue, you know, and we are going to see what go on. Me not go push this on no further. You understand what I say? But me go back to the husband right now. How he must feel. You understand what I say? And let me know in the section below if you was in this man's shoe, what would be the outcome. You understand me? Let me know in the comments below. You see me? But you are going on, as me say, I'll cut it short, yes, so big up on yourself, and me catching you in our next one. Blessed.